and welcome back to another Koze Daily Brew. Today I am sipping on a vanilla almond milk coffee and ready to talk to you guys about anxiety. I've done and talked about anxiety quite a bit, but it's been a while since I've updated you guys on how anxiety has been fitting into my life most recently. It comes in ebbs and flows and in waves, and we all have that trigger inside of us that does that fight or flight thing, and that's basically embedded in us to keep us safe in terms of if we're ever in a situation that actually requires fight or flight, pretty much. It's kind of there to be like, oh, I'm in danger. I either need to fight my way out of this or I need to run away. But when you have a generalized anxiety disorder, a lot of the time that trigger just becomes super sensitive, and sometimes even the tiniest thing, even if you aren't aware of it, triggers that response inside your body, and you start to get hot, you start to get overwhelmed, you start to freak out in whatever way that you tend to. And I am basically taking it inch by inch and allowing it to kind of boil up, come through, and then I'm trying to release it so it no longer affects me as much anymore. I don't think that that's as simple as I just made that sound, but basically to do that, I started to become very aware and journal anytime I noticed myself feeling anxious, almost like an observer, in the sense that when my anxiety would boil up, I would be like, oh, okay, this is really interesting. Like, I'm feeling anxious right now, and this is the surrounding circumstances. And I did that for a little while just to kind of notice when my anxiety tended to trigger the most. And in doing that, I'm basically going to break those three components down here in this video with you guys. Funny enough, as we're sitting here chatting over a nice little morning coffee, I get this little flare of morning anxiety before I even really open my eyes. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, guys. I'm just really good at this, and I feel like it's like a superpower. I'm really good at getting back into bed after my alarm has gone off and not falling back asleep. Instead, I get back into bed, and just recently I read a Jon Kabat-Zinn book where he talks about how that's the perfect time to do your meditation in the morning. And so I get back into bed and I lay there, and I usually just kind of sit with my thoughts a little bit. I've noticed that when I do that and I go to lie back down, my first thought, holy crap. And that holy crap is kind of like a reaction to, oh my God, the day has just started. I must go, 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 go. The lizard brain is like our anxiety brain. It's the lizard's always trying to be on defense mode and keep us safe. And so my lizard brain, before I even am able to like take on the first thing of the day, is like, oh God, where's the threat today? Like, where is there too much going on today? Where am I overwhelmed? What did I not want to do today that's on my to-do list? Like, it's almost like an instantaneous, pessimistic, holy crap, I'm not going to be able to handle today. So like I mentioned, I just recently read a Jon Kabat-Zinn book. So the way that I'm dealing with my morning anxiety, that little morning of like, oh, good gravy. I used to wake up and instantly make a coffee, and I'm talking as much as like 3 weeks ago I was doing that. And then right when I got back from my California trip, I decided to try out my morning meditations first thing, to not wake up and instantly be like, okay, just get a coffee in me, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are like, you probably shouldn't drink a coffee if you're waking up anxious, but when I have my morning coffee, that warmth, that coziness, like that helps me zen into my day. Trust me, I've tried the whole no coffee thing too. I think when I wake up and I'm instantly just like go mode, I don't give myself a chance to really anchor my thoughts. So lately, the way I've been counteracting that is when I wake up in the morning, I just sit there and I zen out, and I'll notice my thoughts, and I notice that holy crap moment. And then I try and kind of counteract it. I'm like, I am so grateful to just wake up today. And I know that that's really cringy and corny, but it works for me. And it kind of like puts a little cap on that, spins it on its head and flips it into a more positive thought. So now I know these videos are supposed to be a little smaller, so I'm gonna try and speed through the rest of this. But the next place that anxiety still has a big section of my life is my anxiety about the future. And I think that that's something that we can all kind of relate to. I think everybody has a little bit of anxiety about the future, but a lot of the times I have such bad anxiety about the future that it takes so much away from me enjoying the present. And again, these are things that I notice because I talk about these things a lot in therapy. And they're things that even though I share online with you guys a lot, there is still like a big portion of my life that I keep kind of to myself, or at least I tend to be somebody that doesn't talk about something unless I have a solution, because I am somebody that needs to find the solution with myself. And when I make my own solution, it usually actually works faster than if someone were to tell me a solution. So this is one of those things that I don't divulge that often, but it actually affects me a lot. And I'm always so caught up in what I'm trying to get to that a lot of the times it takes away from where I'm at, and that includes even when I'm filming. Even if I've journaled it and I've planned it out and I've dreamed of it like a million times, I could write you my 10-year plan right now, but yet here I am admitting that I get anxious, that I have no idea what my future is going to look like. And that, again, is something we can all relate to. But the way that I deal with that anxiety is I always remind myself that that isn't happening now. I'd like to be here now and be there later. And that is just basically what I tell myself anytime lately that I've been like, oh my God, what am I doing with my future? Like, I don't even know where I'm gonna live after this apartment. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not there yet. I don't need to figure that out yet. So I just need to be here now, and here now is doing this, and that is all I need to do. Okay, so now the third and final place that I would say my anxiety is still affecting my life on a daily basis right now is, like I mentioned, I have a little bit of a social anxiety. It's not necessarily the type that makes me turn down events or parties, although sometimes there are times that I definitely am like, ooh. But I would definitely say that my hermit mode is another way that I tend to notice my anxiety flare up in my life. Now, I work from home and I work for myself. I do have a bit of a team, but my team is very small. We're just building my team, and we're all kind of figuring out our moving parts, and we're all working on our moving parts in different places. So my team is very much just still me in a lot of ways, on a day-to-day basis. And that is such a comfort zone for me. Like, I don't get scared by my alone time. I'm empowered by my alone time. And so that can sometimes get out of balance when I allow that to basically become such a comfort zone that being in the presence of other people is like almost an instantaneous anxiety for me, because I'm not sure all the time when I'm around other people if I'm able to be as 100% myself as I am when I'm in my own company, because I don't feel like I'm ever having to worry about somebody judging me, or I tend to notice even the subtlest of shifts of people's energy, even just the subtlest of shift of their facial expression, the subtlest of shift in their tone, and I'm wondering if it's my fault. And that is a very self-centered thing for me to do, and I'm working on it, but it also makes it incredibly hard for me sometimes, especially if I'm not in a very good place that day. Like, if I'm just noticing that I'm in a tired mood or whatever it is, if I'm around other people, I'm way more anxious than I normally am. And that comes from me trying to read all the subtle energies that are being thrown my way, and I'm catching them all, and I'm like, what does this all mean? And then it kind of pulls me out of being myself. And so hermiting is the other way that I tend to notice my anxiety come about in my life. But I feel really good about this one, only because we are in a shift of seasons, my friends. The weather totally 100% depicts my mood in a lot of ways, and when winter comes about, it's pretty bad in Canada, so I tend to kind of hermit in my little comfort zone. But now that spring and summer are here, I mean, it's beautifully sunny outside right now, I'm getting out more, and even if I'm still on my own, but getting out in a way that I'm working at a cafe or working at, like, I have this like membership place that I go to work sometimes, and just like going those places and being out and about with other people and making plans with other people. I've been like filling my day planner up more with more plans with friends and family, and in doing so, I'm just basically building out that comfort zone a bit more now that winter has brought me back to here, you know? I never want this to come out wrong, but like, if you were to scroll through my Instagram or watch a lot of my YouTube videos, you might not think that about my life. You might not think that I tend to love my alone time more than I love any other time, or like that's even a thing of anxiety, that's not just by choice, even though a lot of it is by choice. The more and more I'm out and I'm able to anchor myself and root myself to feeling comfortable in my own little headspace, then I'm able to bring that little home with me inside my mind wherever I am. And so that's kind of how I'm working on that one. It's a normal thing, and we're all working through it together. I hope you guys enjoyed, and just know that, you know, I think that anyone that does suffer from any kind of mental health out there, I think we all do in some kind of way, at least one time or another. It's totally normal to go through the ebbs and flows, for it to affect you at some times in your life more than it affects you at other times, and for it to be ever present in your life, almost in the background in some kind of way, like those balloons back there. Are you wondering why they're there? Larissa's birthday today. That's the day that I'm filming this. So aside from that, leave me a comment down below. I always leave a question based on the videos in the description box, so definitely check that out. Leave me your response down below. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.